Hey guys, welcome back to Love's Kitchen Cuisine. For this video, we've created our own surf and turf with Cheddar Bay biscuits and a special guest to show us how to make some refreshing drinks. Enjoy!
Let's get started. I'm going to start off with the steaks here. And as you can see, I have 5 ingredients. This is all you need to make a delicious steak. I'm going to use rosemary and thyme, and I rough chopped that because I want to put that in a vacuum seal bag. Then I'm going to use a little bit of salt and pepper, whole garlic cloves, and about 2 cups of olive oil. As you'll see, I'm going to take my steaks and I'm going to brush them with salt and pepper. Okay, that's all you need is just salt and pepper to make a delicious steak. As I always say in all of my videos, you don't really need to go overboard with the seasoning because really good food seasons itself for the most part. Okay, and if you do it right, as I'll show you, you'll produce a delicious steak. Okay, so I'm going to very liberally salt and pepper my steak. Okay, and then I'm going to add my steak to my vacuum seal bag. Okay, once I add it to the vacuum seal bag, I'm going to sit my herbs and garlic right on top of it. Okay, and this is the reason why I'm using rough chopped herbs, because if I use very small herbs, they will stick to the meat, and I just want the flavor. I don't want to have my steak overly seasoned with herbs. So as you see, I'm just putting this right in the bag, and then I'm going to vacuum seal this, and you can let it sit for up to 3 hours or 24 hours depending on how much time you have. You can do this overnight, or you can do it for about 3 hours, and you'll produce a really nice product. Okay, so we have our herbs in, we have our garlic in. Now we're gonna add our oil, okay? And as you can see, I'm just sitting the garlic right on top, okay? Now it's time to add our cups of oil. You take your oil, pour just a little bit in the bag, okay? Just a little bit, as you can see. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to then start to vacuum seal them, okay? And that's it, guys. They're vacuum sealed. I usually let this sit for about 3 hours, but you can let it sit as long as overnight in the refrigerator. Okay guys, now it's time to make our shrimp. I'm using Gulf shrimp here, and the only ingredients I use for my shrimp is a little bit of Old Bay and adobo mixed together, as well as salt, pepper, lemon juice, and olive oil. Okay, so as you can see, I'm gonna squeeze the juice of 2 lemons in my shrimp. I'm also going to sprinkle it with my Old Bay and adobo mixture. Let me know if you want the recipe for this. I'll post it in the comments if you ask. And then once I get all of that done, I'm gonna add just my oil, and I'm gonna mix it all around, and I'm gonna let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. That's all you need. You can let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, or I'll let it sit in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 hours. You just really want to get that flavor right into your shrimp. And that's it. Now I'm going to take everything outside after 3 hours, and I'll show you how I grill it off. Okay, so for my wood, I'm going to use 2 different types. I'm going to use apple and cherry wood. You don't want to use anything really heavy or dark like hickory, because you don't want that super smoky flavor in your shrimp. Okay, if I were just doing steak, I would use hickory, but apple and cherry gives me the results that I want. Okay, now that I've got my wood going on my smoker, as you can see, I bring it up to a temperature. I'm gonna do my steaks a little higher this time. Normally, if I were smoking, I would put them on about 250 just to give them a nice smoke. But on this one, I have my grill grates on sear, and I'm gonna take my grill all the way up to 425, okay? As you can see, when I put them right down, they just start to go immediately. Then up top on my top rack, because I want to get a little bit of that smoke flavor in my shrimp without burning my shrimp, I'm going to put my shrimp right up top, as you can see. Okay, and then that will allow my shrimp to cook, and then and get that smoke flavor as well. Okay, now that steaks are going, we're going to turn it over to Tahira, and she's going to show you how to make our version of Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Okay, let's get to it with these biscuits. It's so easy. So everybody loves Cheddar Bay biscuits, and they think it's hard to do, but it's actually pretty easy. So you just need 8 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of fine sea salt plus a little pinch of it, and you're going to need a half teaspoon of garlic powder and 2 tablespoons of freshly minced Italian parsley. You're also going to need 2/3 cups of freshly grated cheddar cheese and 1 cup of buttermilk. So I've already added all of the butter. You really want to use a pastry blender, but I don't have that. I'll be getting that soon. You're just going to incorporate all that butter into the flour. And once you are done with that, you're going to add your cheese. And then once you mix up the cheese, it can be any kind. It can be sharp cheddar, any kind you like. And you're going to add that 1 cup of buttermilk. Mix that up really good. And while you're mixing it up, make sure you set your oven to 350. Some people do 400, but I hate burnt biscuits at the bottom. I like it nice, that nice golden brown bottom of the biscuit. So once you do that, once everything is mixed up, I'm going to wrap it and put it in the fridge just for a couple of minutes. And as you can see, I scooped it. I just used the ice cream scooper. And I made a little mess because I think I'm in a hurry. I'm hungry. And I put it in that oven, and there you have it. I melted up some butter with the parsley and the garlic, and we're gonna brush it over those biscuits. I'm telling you guys, this is so easy. Anybody could do this. I usually don't bake, but I'm trying to bake a little bit more. I just made a mess. I'm hungry. Okay, now it's time for these crab legs. When I tell y'all this is so easy, it's so easy. You're just going to need 1 stick of unsalted butter or salted butter and 4 tablespoons of extra butter with 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and about 3 to 4 tablespoons of Old Bay, 1 freshly squeezed lemon, and about 3 tablespoons of parsley. So you're just gonna bring all of that together in a little saucepan, bring it to a boil, and for about 5-10 minutes, once it comes to a boil, just put it over your thawed out crab legs in a deep pan, and you're gonna cover it up with foil. Put that in the oven at 350 for about 25-30 minutes, and there you go. That's pretty much it. It's time to eat. Let's go.
All right, guys, so today we're gonna make a mojito. I got all my ingredients here. We got the half a lime. We got Rose's lime juice, and the only reason I'm using Rose's lime juice is because it adds a little sweetness to the mojito instead of using sugar. We got the Bacardi rum, and you can use whatever rum you like. It doesn't matter the quality of rum, whatever one you like. I have the club soda. The club soda is to give it a little zing at the end, and we're gonna add our mint leaves, and that's what's gonna make it the mojito. So enjoy. All right, guys, so now we're gonna do our mojito. So I like to take a fresh mint leaves, about 6 mint leaves, and depending on taste, depending on how minty you like it, but I usually use about 6 mint leaves. And I like to smack my mint leaves. I don't like to muddle them because I just want to open it up and get that flavor in it. You don't want to pierce the mint leaf. And then I usually use a muddler for my lime, but this time for time restraints, I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze that lime in there really good. Get that lime juice in there really, really deep into the mint leaf so I can get into there with the pulp and everything. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my Bacardi rum. I like Bacardi. You can use any kind of rum you like, whatever. I like Bacardi Limon sometimes. It gives it a nice taste. You're gonna go ahead and do 3 ounces of Bacardi rum. Then you're gonna go ahead and add your Rose's lime. The Rose's lime, again, I use that because it's a sweetener, and it has a sugar in it instead of muddling sugar. You don't have that gritty taste at the end. You go ahead and use the Rose's lime. Then you're gonna give it a nice shake. You're gonna give it a really good shake about 7 or 8 times just to get all those ingredients mixed in together. You wanna make sure you have a little bit of ice in your glass as well, because you don't want to shake too much ice in your shaker because it's gonna drain the alcohol taste from your mojito. So you put a little bit of ice in your glass along with the ice from your shaker, pour it all in there, and get that all really good mixed up. Then go ahead and add your club soda to it to give it a nice bubbly taste at the end. Garnish it with the lime, and there you go. You got the perfect mojito. So here, folks, we're gonna go ahead and make our perfect Manhattan. And I like to make a perfect Manhattan because you get a nice taste between the sweet vermouth and the dry vermouth. So I'm gonna start off with the aromatic bitters first, and then I'm gonna start off with some orange bitters. You can use both. It makes a good taste. Whatever preferred bourbon whiskey you decide, the dry vermouth and then the sweet vermouth. Okay, guys, so now I got my ice in my glass and I got my jigger ready to go. So I usually like to use 4 ounces of whiskey just because I like to give it a nice kick. Your Manhattan it needs to be a nice drink, that way you feel the full body of the drink. So I normally only want to go with about a half an ounce of sweet vermouth, only because you don't want to overpower the whiskey in there. You only want to give that just the body that it needs. Then you want to go with a half an ounce of your dry vermouth because you don't want it to be too dry, but you want that to also battle the sweet vermouth. And right after that, I'm gonna go with the orange bitters. I chose to use the orange bitters this time, only because I didn't muddle my orange like normally. Normally you would muddle an orange, but I decided to just drizzle my orange bitters on top because you don't want it too sweet. And after you're done, give it a nice stir with a spoon. Make sure everything, all those ingredients get shaken up, get stirred up nice and good in there. And there you go. You got your perfect Manhattan. Enjoy.
All right, guys, now it's time to chow down with our special guests, Rayvon and Ashley. Everything was so good. But please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Peace.